friends. Welcome to today's episode of The Autumn Mindset. 'Tis I, your host and mindset guide, Autumn Oakley. So today's episode, we're filming outside, got some background music, and we're in Mexico enjoying the day. So let's chat about the thing I want to chat about. And that is to stop forcing your way onto people. Now, I say this all the time, is that people are sharing with you what worked for them, or people are sharing with you what they perceive you should do. And that is, a big aspect of where a lot of us feel that we get stuck in trying to please other people. We get stuck in trying to do what works for other people, but may actually not be of benefit to us. The truth is, darling, sir, you are unique. You are unique. You have a unique perspective. You have a unique body. You have unique energy, and energy is everything. So sometimes we perceive that if we try certain things, it's going to work because it worked for this person. Sometimes we fall into this state that, if somebody wants something from us, we need to, follow through with that. The bug. We're in Mexico. There's a bug on me. But yes, really falling into this space of forcing our opinions, our ways onto people, that is a reflection that we actually need to focus on. So if you are somebody telling someone else that they need to do something in a certain way that's in accordance to you, accordance to your perception, accordance to your diets, your routines, your way, and if you're trying to force that onto someone else, that is for you to face. That is for you a little harsh reality, and sending love to you through the screen, for you to really ask the question, why do I feel that this is the only way? Why do I feel that I need someone else to partake in the same thing, my same, perspective, this approach in this way? When we are getting forceful to say, you need to be doing these things, you don't have to say it in a forceful way, but if you're continuously telling someone what to do, whether that is your child, whether that is in work, whether that is a friend, whether that is a perfect stranger, if you're trying to force your way, your perspective onto another continuously over time, that is for you to reflect on that trigger, to ask the question, why does this come up? Why do I feel that I need to project my way onto someone? And I'm saying this from a loving space, but I used to, be somebody who wanted to have people see things my way. And that was the thing I really had to face and focus on, is that was a trigger of myself. And naturally, when we experience these aspects in our childhood, when we experience these things in society, naturally sometimes we just hold that perspective and we don't always know it's there. So like I said, I send you love. But we need to face these aspects of ourselves, is that when we're trying to force our way onto another, that is for us to reflect. That is not for us to decide what someone else needs to do. That is for us to really reflect on the fact that, perhaps there's a wound we need to heal. Perhaps there's something of ourselves that is leading us to this perception that we need to control a situation, that we're falling into the fear of things. And I know a lot of people project our way onto another because, we love them. We want them to succeed. We want them not to, get stuck in bad situations. We want them to be financially stable and thriving. We want them to feel good and, the self that they are stepping into. What we perceive a lot of the time, we are pushing onto another, hopefully for the most part, is from a place of love. But that's really for us to heal a wound. We need to recognize that everyone is on their unique path, and everyone is creating their reality in accordance to what they're willing to heal, what they actually want to do authentically, the person they're stepping into, the challenges that are coming their way. Is the universe providing those challenges for them to overcome them so they elevate of mind, body, and the experience in their lives? And that's what it's about. We're all on our unique journey. And that's something I had to reflect on, over the years, when I felt that I needed people to hear me. I needed people to understand my perception, my way. And this is actually what happens, is that when you heal these things, man, it is such a better way to live. When you heal these things, you really fall into this space of, surrender and understanding that everyone's on their unique path. You let go of the stress of control. You let go of the stress of trying to, stress yourself out to lead people onto a path that maybe perhaps is not meant for them. Share your knowledge, share your wisdom, share things that have worked for you, yes, and I do that as well. Share it and leave it there. If people ask for your assistance, that's a different story. If people are asking for your guidance, that's a different story. When we're trying to force something or say that you need to be doing something in this way, you need to, take these actions, perceive things in the way that I do, that is self-reflection we need to step into. And that was me, going ahead to understand that I had wounds to heal. I always needed people to, see things in my way. In trying to build my business, in this podcast, in my relationships in the past, I really sought control. And there were wounds I needed to heal with that. And I held on to those wounds until I was willing to face them. And that was for me to really understand and reflect on the fact that it's okay to be misunderstood by people. I had a wound that I needed people to hear me. I needed people to understand me. I felt very unseen and unheard, for the majority of my life. And it doesn't mean I connected with amazing people. And some people, yes, did see me for who I authentically was at that period of time. But I think there were deep wounds within me that I needed to heal from past trauma that really said I needed people to hear me. I needed to feel seen. And that was for me to reflect on the fact that what I was allowing in my life actually was the problem. What I was allowing my life was to be in connections, in relationships, pursuing things that were not making me feel seen and heard, that were not making me feel, valued in that way. And that's what I was trying to do all the time. Try this. If I assist you, if I, go ahead to exert all my energy because 1, I was a people pleaser. 2, I was trying to have people hear me, see me, this will work for you, do things in this way. I was really trying to force my perspective, the things that worked for me onto another. And it's different. If you're just sharing and what you've come to know, share it, leave it there, surrender to it. If somebody says, hey, that thing you told me about, I want your help with that, and they come back to you, great, that's amazing. That's the energy we want, to share our wisdom, to help other people in that space. But for us to recognize, we can't force things onto another. That's for people to choose. When we're trying to force things, that is a self-reflection that we need to face and heal. And that was something I was recognizing over the years, is that I really just needed to address my connections. I really needed to address my wounds, that I felt that I needed to, shift that aspect of my life. And it truly transformed my life. I, for the longest time, felt like I wasn't seen, I wasn't heard. And that was for me to address boundaries. That was for me to understand that I needed to build self-love. I needed to come to a place of peace, of calm, of releasing control, that my life truly changed. The person I stepped into truly changed. And that is a beautiful thing. And that's something I really, inspire to share with you, is that when we're trying to force things onto another, that really is a self-reflection. Life is a mirror. Life is a mirror a lot of the time for us to gain an understanding of what's happening in our lives, how we are approaching life, but also what's coming into our lives, to understand that there's something here for me to learn, and for me to try to force someone to see things in my perspective, for me to try to, gain control, for me to really just continuously exhaust myself and my energy to feel seen and heard in my relationships, was the thing I had to face, is that I was repeating the same conversations. I was recognizing that what I was trying to force, what I was trying to share, all of these things I thought would help other people, all of these things that, I was trying to get people to hear my truth, the things that I needed from them, but the cycles just continued. I just continued to have the same conversations. I continued to have the same forceful control, trying to control everything. And that was for me to really recognize, I needed to shift my life. I needed to understand that some things needed to change. I needed to leave some certain situations. I needed to face the truth, unfortunately, that, there were parts in my life that people actually didn't hear me. They didn't see me. And that's okay. They were on a different vibe. And that's cool. We're on our unique journey for us to heal, to face those truths if we choose to. But that is for us to choose individually, not for someone else. And I think that's such a hard thing, is that like when we care about people, when we love people, we can get stuck in this thing of people pleasing. We get stuck in this way that we're coming from a space of empathy and love to understand, like, I can help you. Me sharing these things, you doing these things is going to help you. A lot of the time we can see the potential in others that they don't see of themselves. A lot of the time we see, these things that could really benefit other people, but that's for people to choose. And, that's something we need to heal. And sometimes it's for us to recognize, like, when we're trying to force our specific way onto someone else, that is for us to really sit with that and say, like, why do I believe that this has to be a thing? Why is my ego acting up in a state of, control? Because the soul is not trying to control other people. Your higher self is not trying to push your opinions, your perception onto others. That is ego. That is the shadow of ourself that we need to heal. So that is for us to kind of sit there and say, hey, you know what? When I'm trying to say you need to be eating all these foods and this diet and your nutrition, and you need to be doing things in the way that, worked for me, that's great. What needs to be healed there? And I think that is like a really big self-reflection that I see a lot of the time in society right now, but I also have experienced myself, is that I went through so many different stages, trying different things in life, in business, in, nutrition and all of these things. And there were periods that I was trying to say, like, do these things. I know this will work for you, because I could see that, I saw that as a blind spot that maybe they didn't see, but I've experienced. And when they started trying it, it was a great thing. And I think that's, the perception we should have, to share what we know. If people partake in it and it's working for them, great. If it's not working for them, that's for them to shift. That's for them to say, this isn't authentically for me. And that's okay. Everyone's doing their own thing. And me trying to force my perception, my nutrition, my way on other people, I don't know their unique energy. I don't know their past. I don't know their unique systems and patterns of their mindset. I don't know their unique body. I don't know how their nervous system is reacting right now. I don't know the energy that is going to benefit them. All I can do is share what I've come to know, listen to my intuition to understand that maybe there's a blind spot they're not seeing. I will present it to you, and if you choose to take that, to shift it and see if that works for you, great. And if not, that's fine. I surrender to that. And that really is the path of that. And when we are talking about all these details of, controlling, you need to be doing these diets, you need to be doing these things, I think this is just, I always bring up diet, I always bring up nutrition, because I think it's just so heavily being talked about right now in society. It is so heavily being very forceful onto people in social media, in, fitness, in, nutrition, is like, you need to be doing something in this way. But that is for us to face. If you were saying words and you're looking back on what you're recording, what you're sharing with other people, your clients, the people you love, if you were really doing it in a space of not sharing what you know and surrendering to that and saying, do what you wish, doing it from a place of love, of empathy, and saying, here, this is what I can share with you, do what you wish. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. If you're not in that space, that mindset, that energy, and you're saying you have to do things this way, this is what science says, this is all these different things, that is for you to understand that that's coming from ego. That's coming from a need of control. So that's for you to reflect on, like, what perception am I holding to that's triggering me? What perception, belief am I holding onto that is triggering me, that people need to hear me and this story? And that was for me to face at different periods in my life. And I like to talk about, like, with this example, nutrition, because it's just easy. And like I said, everyone's talking about it right now in their own unique way. Be carnivore, do these things, all and that's what I mean. Everyone is doing their own stuff that's unique to them. Vegan doesn't work for everyone. Vegan works for some people. Everyone is unique in their body, in their mindset, the energy they are embodying, and your nervous system, and everything at different points in time in our life holds an effect to you and what is working for you. And that's what I came to know in trying every single detail of nutrition, of fitness over the years, is that there were different periods in time in my life that certain things worked and certain things didn't. So I started reflecting on the fact, like, why was I trying to force this perception on other people? Why did I need people to, you should be eating this way, you should be doing these things? And it came across forceful in some of my relationships, but it was coming in a space of love and understanding that I was really just trying to share that, I wanted to see them succeed. I wanted to see them heal. I wanted to see them grow. Hola. And that was just like a big part of the journey, is like me reflecting that I was coming from a place of like a harshness. I was coming from a place that I was getting really bitter in that sense, to say that people needed to do what I was doing. And that was for me to heal shit. That was for me to sit in that uncomfortability, that I needed to, let go of some people and some situations that I wasn't feeling seen and heard, that I wasn't, feeling that people were really aligning with me. And I had to kind of face that part of myself to say I was feeling alone in certain places. And this is just my unique healing. This is just unique aspect of like my journey with this. That's what I mean. There's always an answer there when we're coming from a place of forcefulness, of control. There's always something to heal with ourselves, to say, okay, what aspect is leading me into the ego to say, I need people to see things my way. And that was for me to heal different things, to understand that, I needed to shift up my environment. I needed to step into my authenticity. I needed to give myself self-love. I needed to set boundaries. I didn't need to people please. And that's what it means, is like when we're not supporting ourselves, when we're not facing our traumas, when we're not healing and taking responsibility for these things, we project that onto other people. And I say that's from love, but that is the process, is like, question. If you were somebody who's trying to force your way, your perception onto another, there's something to heal there. And it doesn't have to be, the fact that you're trying to do it in a harmful way. A lot of us are trying to do it from a place of love, of empathy. But sometimes that is for us to understand, like, generationally, like sometimes we have perceptions and beliefs that came from our parents, our grandparents, and then just got passed down for generations. Sometimes that's for us to say, hey, you know what? Maybe this isn't the only way. Maybe the way everyone has been doing things for such a long period of time isn't really working. Ask the really, really hard questions with that, to say like, hey, this thing worked for me, but did it really work for you? Why are you feeling that you need to control the situation? I see this sometimes with like, parents and their children, where they're trying to say, you need to do things in this way, you need to be saving and, using these aspects of, investing, you need to be doing things how I did them that helped me succeed. But a lot of the time when we do this, we're actually restricting our children. We're actually coming to a space that we're projecting fear of what we fear. Sometimes we do feel in finances a lack of scarcity in finances. Sometimes what we are projecting onto our children or onto those we love is from a past experience that we don't want them to endure. But that's restricting them from actually feeling safe in finances. That's actually restricting them from, testing the waters to try new things. That's actually restricting them from stepping into the responsibility to become financially independent, that they don't need direction all the time. And this is, I know it's triggering. All these messages are triggering, but it is in these perceptions that we can really get to a better space when we are recognizing that we're trying to control our perception onto another person, even if it's a place, from love, and I would hope it is. That's for us to heal something. That's for us to really face the fact that, hey, you know what? My way is not the only way, because in the end, we only know what we've experienced over time. So sometimes that means we can take different routes. We can try different things. We can create any reality we want. We can step into our power and, attract finances a different way. We can try what works for us uniquely with our nutrition that makes us feel good in our body, which reduces inflammation, whatever that may be that's working for you. It's for people to try things on their own. It's for people to try things on their own that they begin to shift up their reality and they gain an empowerment of themselves. We all need that empowerment. We all need to step into this power of ourselves that we know and trust in the universe, that, what's being provided, that is exactly what you need to endure, to rise, to get to a different level, to step into your authenticity, to step into your power, but also like to do some trial and error to understand that you are powerful. For us to try things in our own unique way is for us to, one, understand our authenticity, have fun with it, understand what we uniquely want to do, and also to step into the empowerment of our responsible selves, to understand that, hey, you know what? We have the power to choose. We have the power and free will to do what we please. We can create any reality we wish, and that is what's leading people. If you're choosing a path of authenticity, trying your unique things, not listening to what other people are telling you to do, but doing what feels right to you, you are stepping into your power, into alignment with your purpose. You are stepping into your power of alignment with the reality you want to be living authentically. When we are listening to other people that are projecting their opinion, their way onto us, what happens? We feel depressed. We feel anxious because we're trying to please people. We are feeling out of alignment, and we question, why do I feel depression? Why do I feel anxious? Why am I not feeling fulfilled in my life? Because we're acting out of what people are telling us to do. We're acting in a way that we perceive is what we're meant to be doing, but that's not what it's about. That's not what life is about. It's not about what people are telling you. It's about trying what people are sharing, seeing if it works for you, if it makes you feel elevated in energy, if it makes you, feel good in your body, in your mindset, if it freaking excites you on the other side of the limiting beliefs that we feel, past that resistance of fear, of scarcity, of trying new things, doing things alone. All of this is like a part of the journey of really just embracing the life we want to be living, for healing your body, getting out of the mental states we feel stuck to. Every block in our life is for us to understand that we have the power to make a choice. We have the power to do things in our own authentic way. And it's when you start choosing you from a space of love and empathy and your unique authenticity and doing what excites you, you experience a shift of yourself, who you embody, and your reality. We say all the time we want to shift our mindset. We want to, experience different things, but we feel stuck. We don't know what to do. And that's what it is. You got to start having fun with it. You got to start, not listen to other people say I love you, but no, this feels good to me. Your intuition knows best. And we say this all the time, trust your intuition, always intuition, always intuition. And there are periods in time that, I didn't know how to listen to my intuition, but you need to embark on what works uniquely for you in your nutrition, in your career, in doing that thing that scares you, whether it's traveling alone, taking yourself out on self dates because you've never done that before, embracing the things you've never done but that call to you, writing that book, singing in public, like whatever it is, following your craft, following your joy. Everything that's authentic to you is leading you to everything you want. Everything that's authentic to you is leading you to manifest that reality. And that's what it's about, is that when we're listening to other people, when we are allowing other people forcing their perceptions and their unique way onto us, sometimes we don't always understand why we don't feel, at home in our lives. We feel confused, we feel lost, we feel like whatever we do, we're not really enjoying the life we're living. We're seeking this internal happiness that doesn't really exist. That's what it is. It's stepping into your authenticity, your unique path. You awaken your intuition in that way, and you start gaining your own self-direction. We all have an intuition and inner guidance, and it's in stepping into that trial of what feels good to you, you start to build that intuition, because you can't understand your intuition if you're not willing to trust yourself. You can't understand your unique guidance and trusting your gut if you're not willing to do the scary thing that no one else is doing, but that calls to you. And that's what it's about, is that embracing our authenticity is literally going to lead you to everything you want in this life. So that is today's quick episode of the Autumn Mindset, an empowering and unique perspective and message for anyone who's, either struggling in forcing your perception your way onto another, or you're struggling to overcome trying to please people in this regard, or you're feeling lost in listening to other people. Follow your authenticity. Face the elements of yourself that are leading you to project your way onto another, and begin to let it go. Let it go. And you will see, people who are stepping into that, they're choosing to change. It's such a beautiful thing. You step into this new self, this new embodiment, and people who really care about you, they'll understand. They'll want you to live a life that's authentic to you, because why wouldn't they want that for you anyway? Because if it's authentic to you, you're feeling joy. If it's authentic to you, you're feeling excited. If it's authentic to you, things are working out in your favor. If it's inauthentic, let's be real, it's not going to be enjoyable. It's inauthentic to you. And that's really the key and the goal in life, is like authenticity. And that is like the biggest self-embodiment we can become, is living a life and embracing our authenticity. We all want to be confident. We all want to pursue our dreams. We all want these things and we feel stuck in it. But it's embracing your authenticity that leads you there. Everything you want in life is peeling back the layers of what's been conditioned in society, of what people are trying to force onto you, and understanding that your unique way is the way to everything you desire, because it's authentic to your authentic self. And that's a part of the fun. So I thank you for joining me on today's episode of The Autumn Mindset. And hola! So I thank you for joining me on today's episode of The Autumn Mindset. And I hope that it helps to inspire you to face that shadow of yourself, and also to step into your authenticity and know that setting boundaries, doing things in your own unique way, is going to lead you to the life you want to be living. Yes, it's going to bring on resistance. It's going to bring up, situations that maybe we don't always want to face, but it's for us to understand that, living a life that's authentic to us means unbecoming maybe what has become inauthentic to ourselves and the life we want to step into. We all talk about change. We all talk about growth, and that's what it means. If you want to experience something different, you need to do something different. But that also means becoming a different self. But really, I think we perceive that a lot of the time is like trying to layer on new things. I need to learn more. I need to like become this person. And you do become in unbecoming. You become your authentic self in shedding the layers of who you're not. And that's a part of the fun. So I just love you, and I'm sending you hugs through the screen. And I know some of this is a triggering message, but I like to say that triggers lead to truth. And triggers for me have truly become a gift, because they bring awareness to the things of my life that are inauthentic. They bring awareness to the ego of myself that says, I'm being triggered in this because it's not the way, whatever that may be that's coming up. So that's for us to face that. To attract better, we need to step into our authenticity and, let people do what they're going to do, and let that be. Share your knowledge, share your wisdom from a place of love, surrender to if they choose to partake in it or not. If they ask for your guidance, great. We all love that. I love being heard by people. I love when people ask me for advice. That's when I got into consulting, and that's when I initially got into coaching. But that was the thing I had to heal as well, is like with coaching, I was painting this perception in a broad view, is that I was leaving things to other people, but I had to be authentic and really honest with myself. And that's what it is that I have this gift to see the blind spots of where people are struggling, all these details, but it's triggering. Sometimes people don't want to, see the truth of things, because it is, a change. It's a triggering message a lot of the time, because it brings on the things we haven't been wanting to face of ourselves and of our lives. And that's what it means to step into your authenticity, to understand that you got to do the hard things, that you need to shed the layers of not doing what everyone else is doing and doing what is true to you. And that's what it was. I felt out of alignment with coaching because it wasn't as direct. I wasn't stepping into my authenticity. I was listening to the fact that people said I should do coaching. I was listening to the fact that people were asking for my advice as a coach, but it wasn't feeling quite right. While I still loved, giving advice and all of these aspects, I still was feeling this void, and I had to reflect on that to say, this is inauthentic in some way. What aspects is it? I'm projecting all these things. Am I trying to force my opinion onto other people? And that's what it was. I was falling into this state again that I hadn't experienced in a very long time, that I was like, I need people to hear me. I need people to see me. And it's for me to understand that I was slightly out of alignment with that. I needed to step into the embodiment of my authenticity to say, hey, you know what? I am more direct in that. Hey, you know what? I do have a gift, and I accept this gift, and I'm stepping into that of seeing the blind spots. But the people who want to work with me, they're ready to go all in themselves. The people who want to work with me, they're willing to face that uncomfortability and those triggers, and that's authentically me. That's the person, the life I step into every day. I ask myself questions every single day of what is the most uncomfortable thing I don't want to face. I face that shadow. I face those triggers. And that is the life I live. That is the embodiment of my authenticity. And that's what I wanted to bring forth in business. But I was neglecting that. I wasn't doing what was authentic to me. I was trying to please everyone else and support others in how I could. But it was making me not live the life I wanted to. I was still taking on this perception of other people. And that is my last message of this episode. In just a quick example of sometimes we're going to fall into this state that we're naturally going to be confused in trying to listen to what other people want from us, what we're trying to do in life. But that's what I mean. If it's inauthentic, it's always going to feel a little off. It just means there's a tweak. It means there's something you're holding on to, a belief. You need to step into a different embodiment. You need to, be honest with yourself to say, who am I? And allow yourself to be that person and to let go of, the need to control things, to let go of the feelings that we need people to see us and hear us. Stepping into your authenticity is being okay with being misunderstood. In your relationships, you should feel seen and heard by people, but you're going to attract those people into your life by being authentic as yourself. As the person that you have stepped into and are continuing to step into in that empowered self. You being authentic is going to attract that into your life. And if you're being inauthentic, you're going to attract that into your life as well. So that really is the goal and the ending message for this podcast. Do you be authentic, follow those unique paths, and know that I, Autumn Oakley, believe in you. Keep shining, lovely beans, and know that I love you and believe in you. Okay, bye.